Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Welcome to Accelerated Health with Sara Banta. I'm a busy wife, mom of 3, and an NANP certified supplement professional, but that's not all. I'm also the founder of the multi-award-winning Accelerated Health Products, a brand offering innovative natural supplements, scalar enhanced to optimize your health. And this podcast is not just a source of information, it's a community. We are all here to learn and grow on our health journeys, and this podcast is a springboard to learning at the free group coaching on Telegram, where we continue to learn together. You can ask questions. I post tips and tools to deepen your health and to keep you motivated in moving forward on this journey. So here's what you can expect. New episodes every Monday and Tuesday with in-depth health discussions and expert guests. Hot topic issues that are in the news every Thursday to keep things fun. And the free health group coaching on Telegram, uncensored, a supportive space to ask questions and connect with others. The details are on the website at sarabantahealth.com. Have you thought about detoxing but a little nervous? Well, I've created over 10 unique, easy detox cleanse programs to help you reset your body while feeling great. Take my detox quiz. It's on the website, sarabantahealth.com, to find which one's right for you. And if you don't know which supplements to start with, complete my health goals form for your free supplement protocol on the website. I pick out that protocol specifically for you. And I'm here to help you every step of the way so you don't just fall off on day 2. So today we're going to talk about fluoride, and we talked about it in a short podcast a couple weeks ago because it was in the news. And I will never forget, about 10 years ago, my kids were young, I was talking to a friend of mine who's also a dentist, and she was arguing why we need fluoride in our toothpaste. And I just sat back and smiled because you never talk about those things at parties, right? So this is the reality. Since the 1940s, fluoride has been added to drinking water in many countries to reduce dental cavities. But despite its widespread use, the debate over fluoride's benefits and risks has only grown more intense over the decades, and the sheer volume of research on the topic is staggering. Over 1,400 studies since 2000 alone, many of which explore the potential dangers of fluoride exposure. And you know those people that have been telling you, be wary of fluoride. Well, in recent years, the conversation has shifted towards concerns about fluoride's potential role as a developmental neurotoxin. This is for our kids, especially when considering its effect on the children. And some studies have even suggested that high levels of fluoride in drinking water could be linked to lower IQ in children. This is leading to serious questions about its safety. Now, what's so interesting is fluoride takes down the IQ. Guess what brings it up? Iodine. So we're going to be talking about the connection in a minute. But I've talked about the fact that kids need iodine to raise their IQ. Well, the increasing focus on these potential adverse health effects has sparked widespread debate with public health experts, scientists, the media outlets. They're all weighing in. Some strongly advise against fluoride consumption, especially for pregnant women, citing research that compares fluoride to toxic metals like lead and arsenic. And we all know that those aren't too good for us, right? So with thoroughly assessing these concerns, the researchers have reviewed the wide range of the studies, right? And the finding has contributed to growing reassessment of fluoride. So people are like, okay, what's the reality? Let's relook at this. Well, this is interesting. Fluoride is not around the globe. You would think, well, we're the first world country. We're the world power, right? In the United States, we should know the most. Well, water fluoridation has been banned in many European countries, including Austria, Belgium, Denmark, Finland, Germany, Hungary, the Netherlands, Norway, Sweden, among others. And according to Dr. Rhoda, a biological dentist, these nations, along with China and Japan, have determined that adding fluoride to drinking water is ineffective, toxic, and should not be used. Always follow China, guys. China kind of knows what's going on, right? The Fluoride Action Network points out that only about 5% of the world's population drinks artificially fluoridated water, with the majority being in the US. Despite this, countries that do not fluoridate their water have similar rates of tooth decay to those that do. My biological dentist, who went to one of the top dental schools in the United States, says that any of his children that have been coming to him since day one without the fluoridation in their toothpaste and without the x-rays, none of them have cavities. And I'm sure he's not telling them to not eat sugar, and they're listening, right? All kids eat sugar. So it's not about the diet. Now, I'm not saying diet doesn't matter with your teeth, but fluoride definitely has a part in tooth decay and also what's going on in the body. So what is it doing in the body? Fluoride interacts with proteins in our bodies, especially enzymes, typically inhibiting their activity at higher concentrations. While at lower concentrations, fluoride might even stimulate cell growth. However, the exact role of fluoride in our cells is still unclear. It can cause several adverse effects, such as generating harmful free radicals, and we know free radicals are part of accelerated aging, right? Damaging mitochondria. You know mitochondria is the stem of our longevity. Without our mitochondrial health, we die, right? If you want to anti-age, take care of your mitochondria. And this can also, the fluoride can trigger cell death, particularly in neurons and sperm. High fluoride levels can also weaken the immune system, reducing crucial immune system cells and antibodies. And despite numerous studies, the full impact of fluoride is still ongoing research. We still don't know the extreme of what it can do. Well, the National Toxicology Program has finally released a long-delayed report linking fluoride exposure to neurotoxic effects in children. And this is what I talked about a couple weeks ago. So they are saying it's associated with lower IQ in kids. So our kids are already suffering. I told you a couple weeks back that a teacher friend of mine said 24 out of 25 children in her class were on ADHD or antidepressants or anti-anxiety drugs. Our kids are suffering mentally. So this is just one example of the dangers of fluoride in our diet. Fluoride is touted as essential for dental health and drinking water, but it's also very controversial. It is not just coming from our water and our toothpaste. It's also the basis of the PFOAs, the PFOs, the PFASs, and it's even the base of Teflon. We talked about that the other day. The brand name of polytetrafluoroethylene, fluoro. So anytime you see fluoro in a medication or a substance or a microplastic or a toxin, that is fluoride based. Okay, so we want to be looking for that. Look at that in your foods. Look at, if you can't pronounce what's on the back of the package, don't eat it. So these chemicals are called or polyfluoroalkyl substances, PFAs, and they're also known as forever chemicals. Why? Because they stay in our body forever. They're synthetic chemicals designed to resist heat, water, oil, which makes them incredibly fun and useful for a wide range of products like the nonstick cookware, waterproofing clothing, firefighting foams. Their resistance to breaking down means they persist in the environment and accumulate in our bodies. So not only are they bad for the environment, they're bad for our bodies. They don't break down and our bodies can't get rid of them. What makes them so concerning is they're linked to various health issues, including cancer, hormone disruption, immune system harm, and the worst part, once they're in our environment or our bodies, they're almost impossible to eliminate. Hence the name forever chemicals, right? So also prenatal fluoride exposure. What's going on with there? A recent study has added significant weight to concern about fluoride exposure during pregnancy and its potential impact on children's brain development. So this was done in Los Angeles, where water is fluoridated. This research is one of the first to explore these effects in the US population. Now, I live near Los Angeles, and they just talked about on the news that they found lead in the water. So imagine what your body's trying to do to detox fluoride and lead, plus all of the other stuff we're exposed to, the GMOs, the glyphosate, spike protein, the heavy metals, everything that we've talked about, right? All of these things are loading up in our body. What does our body do with toxins? They store them in fat cells. They make more fat cells. They make the fat cells bigger. So you're gaining weight without any calories, right? That's just a symptom of toxicity. Weight gain is a symptom. It's not the problem. So in this study, researchers analyzed urine samples from 229 pregnant women during their third trimester and found that higher fluoride levels were strongly linked to increased behavioral issues in their children by age 3. So they followed them, right? This is crazy. These issues range from ADHD-like symptoms to anxiety and emotional reactivity, with a notable connection to autism symptoms. You know, I know those parents out there, they're like, I don't know what's going on with my child. I think I'm a good parent. I think I discipline. Where are these behavioral issues coming from? And I'm sure you've seen these children act out in the markets and out in public. And it's like, what? Okay, something's going on there, right? Well, it's not the children's fault. So the study revealed that even a small increase in the mother's urinary fluoride levels were associated with an 83% higher likelihood of the child scoring in the borderline or clinical range for overall behavioral problems. This finding is crucial as it highlights the potential risk for fluoride during pregnancy and can pose developmental brain issues, leading to long-term neurobehavioral challenges. So this is affecting what you're taking in, is affecting your child and generations to come, because remember, they're forever chemicals and they can't get out of the body. So what are the side effects of fluoride in addition to low IQ and behavioral issues? Well, dental fluorosis. So this can lead to dental white spots, stains, or even pitting on the teeth, which can be permanent. And I've noticed that on children. Then you also have the skeletal fluorosis, and that means that it will make the bones brittle and increase the risk of fracture and joint pain. So fluoride can actually make your teeth like sand and very not strong is the word, right? Okay, fluoride can also disrupt thyroid. Who is not suffering from hypothyroidism, a sluggish metabolism, right? Excessive fluoride intake might interfere with thyroid function, potentially leading to hypothyroidism with symptoms like fatigue, weight gain, depression. And so many of you have been saying, Sarah, I haven't changed anything. I am so tired. I have brain fog and I've put on 20 pounds. I don't understand. Well, as the rising cases of hypothyroidism have been loosely connected to fluoride exposure, studies suggest that fluoride might have an anti-thyroid effect, particularly under those conditions. And if your iodine levels are low, fluoride could make an even more significant disruption in your thyroid function, because thyroid needs iodine. If you don't have enough iodine for your thyroid, those fluoride molecules are going to fit right into those receptor sites. You will see ADHD and behavioral issues like we mentioned. So it has been connected to attention issues, mood disorders, anxiety, increased reactivity in children, but not just children, us adults too. And the neurological concerns, lowering that IQ, gastrointestinal issues. So ingesting high amounts of fluoride can cause gastrointestinal discomfort, including nausea, stomach pain, vomiting, particularly from supplements or highly fluoridated water. Bone density issues. So they can make the bones more fragile, increasing the risk of fractures over time. And then fluoride toxicity can occur with extremely high doses, leading to symptoms like muscle spasms, respiratory distress, and even cardiac failure. So you have to think about the fact that maybe you're just getting it from one or two sources, but you're also getting the heavy metals, the bromide, the chlorine from the water. all of these things are coming in and your body says, I give up. It has been linked to kidney, testicular, and other cancers. The increase in cancer and tumor growth is due to fluoride disrupting normal cell behavior. It affects thyroid function, hormonal balance, reproductive health. So if it's going to make our kids dumb, it's also going to make us have a hard time having kids, fertility issues, just overall hormonal balance, immune system suppression. So it weakens the immune response. And most of us are suffering from suppressed immune systems in the first place. As we are thick into the fall, cold and flu season, this becomes even more important. It causes low birth weight and developmental delays in children, liver damage, liver enzymes change. They can increase and potentially cause liver damage, and our livers are under attack already. It can raise cholesterol levels, contributing to heart disease. It is also fluoride is also associated with kidney damage and potential kidney disease. Decreased fertility, like I mentioned. It also alters overall hormonal regulation, and most of you are suffering from estrogen dominance. This is just one more thing contributing to that. Accelerated aging, genetic damage, arthritis, interrupting the DNA repair mechanisms, and then, of course, for all of you environmental people out there, it causes environmental damage because literally they are forever chemicals and will accumulate over time and not go away. So it's going to impact the ecosystems and the wildlife. So what do we do about it? I live in Southern California. Fluoride is actually hard to get out of your water system. You have to get very specific filters, which I highly recommend. So the most obvious ways to avoid fluoride is to get rid of your fluoride toothpaste. There's plenty of fluoride-free toothpaste out there. To not get it from the dentist. Don't do the x-rays. But unless you need them, and obviously talk to your dentist about that. But you also want to talk about what are you missing in your body that could be causing the fluoride to really take hold in those cells. Iodine. Okay, so let's talk about iodine supplementation. It is the most effective way to prevent fluoride, and not just fluoride, but the chlorine and the bromide as well, from staying in the body, in addition to kicking that existing fluoride out of the body. And this is due to chemical displacement and competitive inhibition. So let's break down these concepts. This is from, chemistry in high school, right? So chemical displacement. When it comes to elements in the same group of the periodic table, there's a natural tendency for the lighter ones like fluoride to push out the heavier ones like iodine from the same spot they're trying to occupy on the cell membrane. Okay, this happens because they share the same number of electrons in their outer shell, making them very similar to how they behave. For instance, group 7, which includes fluorine, chlorine, bromine, and iodine, fluorine being the lightest, tends to displace iodine. Okay, on the flip side, you've got competitive inhibition. So this is where the heavier element, like iodine, can kick out the lighter one, like fluoride, but this only happens when there's a lot of the heavier element around. So this is why you want to take higher doses of iodine that can help push out the other halogens like fluoride and chlorine that have snuck into our system. So as we're talking about fluoride, my son played water polo for 4 years from fourth to 8th grade. And he was underwater in that chlorinated pool for 3 hours at least a day. Oh my goodness. You better believe I gave him iodine. And I was so happy when he decided to row on top of the water instead of swim underneath that chlorinated water. But we're talking about fluoride, but chlorine is the same, right? So the problem is we've been misled about iodine for years, making it seem scarier than it is. Refer back to my interview with Dr. Brownstein. We talk about how the dosage of iodine needed today is much higher than it ever has been before. So another good example of this is calcium. from group 2 displaces magnesium in our body because we're often overloaded with calcium through those fortified foods. Guys, we don't need calcium like we're taught. Calcium gets to be in all the wrong places in the body. Yes, we need it in our bones, but we need to not let the calcium come out of our bones to alkalize our blood. That's a whole nother discussion. But the same principle applies to magnesium, where it can naturally dissolve excess calcium, one of the culprits behind aging. And most of you are deficient in magnesium. Imagine that. We're all deficient in iodine and magnesium, and these fluoridated chemicals and calcium are causing the aging. So what does iodine do in the body? Well, it's not just protecting you from fluoride. It helps with the cell membrane health. So that cell membrane has a value of iodolipid, iodine and fat value. And that guards against the toxins, ensuring cells function properly. It helps the toxins get out of the cells and helps the nutrients we're taking in to get into the cells. Iodine is crucial for producing the thyroid hormones T2, 3, and 4, tyrosine, and 2, 3, and 4 molecules of iodine. That's what the T2, T3, and T4 represent. And that regulates metabolism, heart rate, fat burning. So if you are having too much fluoride or chlorine in your body and you're not getting enough iodine in there, your metabolism is going to slow down, your heart rate's going to be affected, you're not going to stop be burning any fat. In fact, you're probably going to be storing fat to store all of those toxins. Iodine is a metabolism booster. It is helping with the thyroid hormones that manage metabolism and body temperature, preventing weight gain and energy slumps. It also supports apoptosis, which is the body's ability to kill off the diseased and damaged cells, but also grow new cells during periods of pregnancy and puberty. That's why it's super important that your children and your pregnant women are on iodine supplementation. It helps with ATP production, which is the energy production in the mitochondria, keeping you energized. It helps with breast health. Adequate iodine is linked to lower rates of breast cancer and fibrocystic disease. A lot of women are suffering from fibroids, PMS, endometriosis, PCOS more than ever because of what's going on in our environment, and we are all iodine deficient. According to Dr. Brownstein, 97% of you are deficient in iodine. That's a lot. So it also helps regulate insulin needs in diabetics, aiding in blood sugar management. It is critical for converting protein into muscles and tissues, impacting overall bodily function. So as you're getting older and you're like, I need to eat more protein to build that muscle, well, you also need that iodine for protein synthesis, right? The protein doesn't do any good unless our bodies can synthesize it and do something with it. Iodine has antimicrobial properties. It's known to devitalize bacteria, viruses, fungus, and parasites. It helps with inflammation. It supports the immune function and reduces inflammation throughout the body. It helps with overall detoxification. So not just fluoride, but bromide, chlorine, heavy metals, radiation from our cell phones, all of that. It helps balance the estrogen supporting testosterone levels and addressing the issues like fibroids and PCOS, and helping regulate those bad estrogens, the good estrogens and progesterone, and bringing in that estrogen dominance that so many men and women are suffering from. It acts as a powerful antioxidant, neutralizes the free radicals, and it keeps the cells hydrated. Did you know iodine without water can actually produce H2O in your body and help hydrate your body? It boosts brain function, prevents mental decline, and increases serotonin by eliminating parasites. So serotonin is in the gut. Parasites love to eat that serotonin up. That can actually be part of your cognitive decline. So it will help support the serotonin by devitalizing parasites and other foreign pathogens. But it is the number one helper or mineral for increasing IQ and helping lift that brain fog. When people come to me with mood disorders, anxiety, depression, I say, well, let me see your thyroid numbers. And they don't really have all of them done, number one, but usually they're hypothyroid and they're low in iodine. So just taking that iodine is going to lift the metabolism and the energy, not just in the body, but in the brain. Imagine that. It's an overall energy booster and helps with that cognitive health. Of course, for cognition, I always say look at the acognoblast and the methylene blue as well, but number one is always iodine. It helps with heart health. Why? Because the thyroid, by supporting the thyroid, it's preventing heart disease. It protects against those EMFs. Our cell phones, guys, these are with us every single day, attached to us. I'm guilty, but I take plenty of iodine to make sure I'm protected. It ensures proper pregnancy and fetal development support, preventing that low IQ in children. And see, this is what's so interesting, is fluoride is lowering IQ, but it's probably lowering IQ in the populations that are iodine deficient even more so than those that aren't. So I'm sure they haven't even done the study where, okay, here's the population that is iodine deficient. Here is the one that isn't. Let's have them all drink fluoridated water and see what happens. Well, you can bet that my kids and me and my husband are all supplementing with higher doses of iodine so that we can push out these toxins that we have no control over bringing into our body, right? It is also known to be the spiritual mineral because it nourishes the pineal gland, supports spirituality. So what does that mean? That it means it's literally decalcifying the pineal gland from fluoride, right? Fluoride crosses the blood-brain barrier. So you got to be careful with that as much or more than ever. So what is the best source of iodine? It is the Iodine iodine. So when it comes to iodine supplementation, quality matters. I talk a lot about this on the website, sarabantahealth.com. Make sure you check that out. Make sure you check all of the articles on iodine. There's so much there to learn from, to demyth the myths out there that we have all been taught. So many iodine supplements on the market come from contaminated sources or bound to other molecules like potassium or sodium iodide. This means that your body, which is already weak because you're probably hypothyroid, has to break these molecules apart before using that iodine. So most iodine supplements only achieve about 10 to 20% absorption. Iodine iodine has a much more effective absorption rate. It's the only iodine supplement made from pure natural singlet active iodine I-. Okay, so one little molecule going through your body looking for those receptor sites to plug into to kick out the fluoride and the bromide and the chlorine. And so your body can immediately absorb it. It's also enhanced with scalar frequencies. And when you pair it with the accelerated salt, this helps with cellular hydration, that sodium potassium pump to get the nutrients into the cells and the toxins out of the cells. So just a little recap. Here's the cell. We have those iodolipid values on the cell membrane, which is the brain of the cell. As we have that iodine in that cell membrane, we're able to get nutrients into the cells and the toxins out. Inside the cell, we've got the mitochondria with ATP. We need iodine to produce the maximum amount of ATP or energy, okay? That is the basis of your cell, of your health and your longevity. And our cells are overstuffed with these toxins like fluoride, microplastics, Teflon, heavy metals, or they get overstuffed and overstuffed and overstuffed, and then they start making new cells, fat cells. Why does the body use fat cells? Because we need to get these toxins out of the blood for survival. So it's all about survival, right? So our body is really smart. And so we need that iodine to increase the ATP inside the cells. Now, outside the cells, it helps cleanse the liver or cleanse the blood so the liver can do its job detoxing all these toxins, help regulate that estrogen dominance. And it also gets to the brain, decalcifies the pineal gland, lets you feel like the fog is lifted. I can think, I'm happy, the depression is lifted. It helps with the thyroid and the metabolism, which is the bridge from your brain to your body. Your thyroid is the master endocrine gland. It controls your adrenals. It controls your gonads, all of your sex hormones and organs. It is everything, right? So if our thyroid is sluggish because we're lacking iodine and because fluoride is finding its home in our thyroid, everything's going to slow down and become sluggish. Water retention, weight gain, brain fog, depression, all the things. Hair loss, eyebrows thinning, all of those fun things. So that is why iodine is so imperative for your health. And unfortunately, we are in a world where fluoride, even though it's becoming more out there and people are becoming more aware of it, it's still everywhere. It's in our waters, it's in our food supply, and it's in our toothpaste. And sometimes we're getting exposed to it and we don't even know how. So we have to take care of everything that we're able to do because a lot of things are out of our control. So thanks for listening. Our discussion does not have to stop here. If you're feeling lost in the supplement world, I'm here to help. I can help you specifically. And you can start by getting your free supplement protocol. Just head to sarabantahealth.com, complete the health goals form, and get my personalized protocol just for you. Follow me on social media at Accelerated Health Products and join the free group coaching on Telegram. Ask your questions about what you learned here today, right? I will post insights, keep you moving forward each and every day. The link is at sarabantahealth.com. Listen anywhere at Accelerated Health with Sara Banta. I'm on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, and over 100 platforms. And you can use coupon podcast10 for 10% off site-wide. I'm live every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, so join me next time for more ways to unlock your health potential.